In this week's segment of Ask the Vet, some of you may have gained some unwanted holiday weight. Our pets may have done the same as well. If you're eating more, maybe you're feeding them more. Joining us this morning to discuss ways that we can help our pets lose that unwanted weight for the new year is Dr. Christian Broadhurst with Clay Humane Society. Good morning, Doc. Thanks for joining us.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
So it's interesting. We set a New Year's resolution, for example, to get into better shape and, maybe eat better. It's hard for our pets to say, hey, can you not feed me as much? I mean, that temptation is right there when that bowl is filled. How can you tell, first of all, if your pet is overweight?
Well, it's an important thing to know because certainly there are differences between Chihuahuas and Great Danes. You can't just say you're 5 pounds overweight. We talk about body condition scoring in dogs. And what that means is for an ideal body condition, you should be able to feel the ribs without seeing the ribs. And if you have to push through a layer of kind of pudge to get down there, your animal's overweight. And they should also have a little tuck to their waist. A lot of our moderately overweight animals are kind of barrel shaped. They're kind of straight from chest back to abdomen. They should be bigger in the chest, tucked up in the abdomen, and you should be able to feel the ribs without seeing the ribs.
Now, I know that we started this talking about how to help them lose weight, but, this is probably, as you're talking about looking to be able to determine, I mean, some pet owners, because we warn them all the time about not overfeeding because it can lead to early death in animals. What about how do you spot a sign of maybe your dog needs to, or your pet needs to gain weight?
Well, certainly just the opposite of overweight animals. If you can see the ribs without having to feel them, if you feel like you can see vertebrae along the spine, or if your animal, of course, if there's medical issues going on, your animal is vomiting or having diarrhea or not eating, that's certainly concern for being underweight. We see underweight animals a lot of times in young animals that are starved or parasitized, and in old animals, often with cancer. So those are definitely warning signs to keep an eye out for.
So how much exercise then should our pet get? Because some of us might think, well, instead of just letting him go out in the backyard, I'll just take a walk around the block. Is that enough? And is there such thing as too much exercise?
Honestly, there's no such thing as too much exercise for your pets unless you have a medical issue that prevents it. Most of our dogs can survive with about 30 to 60 minutes of activity a day. They do better with more. But if you can manage a half an hour walk in the morning and a half an hour walk in the afternoon, you're doing pretty good. Cats, it's a little tougher because they tend not to take walks. They tend to play on their own time. But certainly giving them toys, giving them random motion laser generators, that just will make laser patterns on the floor periodically to keep them active. If we can get 15 to 20 minutes out of a cat, we're doing pretty good.
Dr. Christian Broadhurst with Clay Humane. Thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back.